I just went through a breakup because I'd like to be a mom someday. And that was a decision where I said, I love you. I could see spending my life with you, but this parenthood thing is more important to me than that. So the idea that I could give that up and then never become a parent is it doesn't seem likely to me. I feel like if I decide I want to do this, I'm going to be able to find a way to do it. And that could be helping two gay dads become a parent. That could be reaching out to a best friend and deciding to, platonically co-parent. This could involve adoption. This could involve freezing my eggs. This could involve artificial insemination. I can't picture that right now because it's 5 years away for me. But I think if those 5 years pass and I haven't met someone who wants to do this with me in the traditional way, who I want to do this with in the traditional way, I think it's going to be time for me to really make that decision for myself. It does not seem easy. It seems like basically an act of insanity. But if I think that this is the thing I'm going to need to feel like I got what I wanted out of life, then why the hell not? It takes a lot of the pressure off dating that I don't think I have to meet that person in the next decade, that I could start this family and then meet that person. And maybe guys will be more dateable as I get older. I think that there is a lot of weirdness to dating at this age.
You asked why the hell not? And so my answer to that would be because this isn't about you. Having a baby is not about you. It may be what you want to do, and that's nice, but it's really not about you. Bringing another life onto this earth is about that other life. That life matters more than yours, even now. That child is going to need a father. That child deserves a father and a mother that are hopefully together. Not to say that, separated people couldn't raise a child. They can. But to come at it in a way to where it's like, oh, I'm just going to, get pregnant with my best friend's baby and we'll just kind of that's ridiculous. And it's unfair. And it's selfish. And that alone tells me that you have a lot of growing up to do in 5 years.
Well, this is coming from someone who grew up in a household without a father figure there. And with a mom who worked really hard for me to have what I needed. But life sure as hell would have been easier if I had that father figure there. It's getting him to school every morning, feeding him, just like the responsibility of that person. And I think this is the big blind girl was a lot harsher about this than I'm probably being, but it's true. I think the responsibility is too great for you and a friend to just try to raise together. I mean, I'm not quite sure who or what your friends are, but I would not be doing this with my best friend, especially if it's a female. I don't know, that it's just not right. And I think that in the end, you just need to be patient and find that right guy that will give you what you want with your kid, and that can be there to support both of you. And at the end of the day, support that baby. Because I just think that's a bit silly to just be taking on a responsibility because you want to be, I guess, selfish about the situation. But you said 5 years, and a lot happens in 5 years. you know. So I would just do that instead of running off and walking around with other people's babies. That seems a bit much to me, but anyway.
To set the scene, I am a very open-minded person. I am a mom, and I am 57 years old, and I've raised two incredibly fabulous boys with the help of their father and my husband. However, I believe that if having a child is your deepest, deepest longing, that you can't ignore that, or you shouldn't ignore that. And we don't know if the child that you want to bear, it could be the next Einstein, or the next Carl Sagan, or Stephen Hawking, or Oprah Winfrey, or Michelle Obama, or whomever. If it is your deepest longing to have a child, I believe that if you do it consciously, either alone, or with a friend, or with a gay guy, or with a partner, a love relationship partner, you just have to know that once it's done, there is no going back. And having a child and raising a child is the hardest, most enlightening thing maybe you will ever do. And it's very important to do it consciously. And like Big Blind Girl said, it is not about you. It really isn't. It's all about the child, and how are you going to support it? How are you going to emotionally help it to grow? It's very important not to damage children. And I believe it's kind of important to be able to pay for their therapy when you screw it up, because parents screw it up, and that's part of the deal. So just think about it a whole lot before you actually do it, and just make a conscious decision. Don't let it happen accidentally if you can help it. Be conscious.
I think it's okay. It's the 21st century. Anything goes. So, yeah, it's okay. I am a parent, co-parenting, you know. So, yeah.
You know, in listening to your question or statement, I guess, it's interesting because I'm reading a book and I can't remember the author nor the title verbatim, but it talks about how single women in the United States have helped shape, I guess, what we're now experiencing today. And to understand the liberation that women now have for procreation and for reproduction is such an interesting thing, because while these things have been available to some degree, they're even more accepted now. Admittedly, some I don't agree with, but that's the prerogative of the woman to deal with. I think that it's totally okay for a woman who obviously is not finding a suitable partner and who wants to become a parent to adopt or to use IVF or whichever method she chooses, because ultimately the woman is exerting her right and her ability to get, like you say, what you want out of life. And you may be right. It may take time to meet that person, to meet that guy who eventually may want to conceive with you in the natural or conventional way. And I guess to me, I kind of question, not trying to get into your personal life, the kind of people you're meeting, because it sounds like from what you are saying, and I'm just inferring based on what you're saying and how you're saying it, that you've met a lot of men, or met some men anyway, that don't want children, or that are not potential marital or father material. And so I guess that would be my question, is look at the qualities or the characteristics of these men and see what's overlapping to maybe kind of avoid that. Because obviously that's the beauty of dating, right? Is we have the option to allow the breakups and the failures to refine who we are, and even greater narrow the kind of person that we're really wanting to introduce in our life. And it's a very fascinating time in which we live, that's for sure.
Hey, Andrea, you must be an exceptionally beautiful lady, because it seems like to me that it's you girls that always seem to have this problem. And it's just beyond me. Like, are men really this stupid? Like, you would think that they would be like, you're so beautiful. Of course, I would want to have children with you one day. I think they're selfish little bastards if they don't want to, like, have kids someday. Okay. So I think that, like, right now you're trying to do this kind of all on your own, and, I watched a couple of my nieces end up having babies one with a guy that she wasn't married to, and a year later he left her, and now she's doing it all on her own. But now she has to put up with this jerk, all her life because they made a baby together. Excuse me, I do have a cold. Then I had another one who was like, oh, I never want to be married. I just want to have children. And we're just going to do this together. And I'm like, you'll want to get married one day. And this guy is like a really great guy, and stuff. And they finally did get married, and everything. And I'm really glad for them. And then they had another baby together. And they are very happy. And I'm really happy for them. I have another friend that like dated and dated and dated people, and like kind of waited too long to like get their thing going and everything. And nobody would like want to get married, and I think it's neat that you want to be married and do it right. And it's protection for your children. And if you really want to have protection for your children, I think it's the best thing to be married. I think if people want to be in a relationship and they're not rearing, bearing age, they don't need to like worry about getting married if they don't want to. But I think that when people specifically do want to have children, I think it's the best if they can be married, because it takes a lot of time, energy, money, and resources to raise children. And I don't think it's fair for you. And once you think, oh, I'm going to raise my kids and in 20 years they're going to be gone. Wrong. My kids are like 33 and 34 and they're still my babies. I still buy things for them and do things for them. And oh my gosh, I love them. So you keep on your journey and stuff like that. But here's something you might want to add. You've given it obviously a lot of thought, different things that you can try and stuff like that. But you probably think I'm a big old, like a nut lady, but I don't care. That's okay. Pray about it. You have a heavenly Father that can totally make this happen for you. Like if you just ask him to help. Say, find my perfect guy for me, I mean, I know it seems nuts. But if you've tried everything else and it hasn't worked, hey, why don't you give it a shot? So I'll pray for you, even if you don't even ask him. How's that? I think it's wonderful that you want to have children, and it's the most important a job on the planet, and I think you would be really good at it. But God is where those babies come from. The guy might help get it started, but these truly are gifts directly from God, and you're willing to take good care of one, it sounds like. So I hope you take me seriously. I really mean it seriously too. And I'm sorry that this tends to be a problem that, your biological clock and all of that stuff. I don't know that freezing an egg would be a very good idea, because I'm telling you, I had my kids very young, like in my early 20s, like 19 and 21, and carrying a baby is really kind of hard on your body. I mean, it's not hard. It's not hard to do, but it is a big job. And I certainly would not want to try that when I'm in my 40s. My girlfriend, the one that nobody would marry her, and she ended up getting a boyfriend. She had a boyfriend, but they weren't married. She ended up having 2 children, and her first child, we all went out to lunch together, and she announced to us at lunch that she was pregnant on her 40th birthday. And I think at like 42, she had another baby or something like that. So it can still happen. Don't freak out. Ask the one who's in control of that, although, and it'll work out exactly perfect the way it should for you. I hope this helps. You sound like a really nice girl.
No, it is not okay. The Bible's very clear on this, okay? A child needs a mother and a dad, okay? A mother meaning a woman, a dad meaning a man, not a man and a man, or a woman, or someone who thinks they're the opposite gender than what they are. You need 2 dedicated people of the opposite sex, 1 man and 1 woman. You need a marriage. When you have the marriage, then you can have the child. Abortion is not acceptable. I hope this answers your question. This is KC3CDV James in Pennsylvania, saying may you be blessed in the name of Jesus Christ.